Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing you a text-to-speech friendly deep dive about Cemre, Arda and Gökberk Yıldırım. All the details are in this video. If you enjoy careful storytelling without the noise, please hit the like button, subscribe, and if you want to support the channel even more, you can tap the join button below. Thank you and let us begin. From the moment their first scene aired together, something about Cemre, Arda and Gökberk Yıldırım felt unusually effortless. Dialogue landed with the calm precision of two people who trusted each other's timing. Silences were allowed to breathe. A glance that should have lasted a second lasted 3, and those extra 2 seconds turned viewers into detectives. Crew members praised their preparation. Directors praised their restraint. Critics praised the way tension simmered without flash. All of that was true on set. Off set, the story most people told themselves was simpler: they must be in love. For months, two parallel narratives grew side by side. The official one, two disciplined actors building a hit series through patience and craft. The unofficial one, two private adults walking a line so thin it looked like a secret. Fans began logging clues. A novel shown in one of Cemre's late-night photos matched a title Gökberk had mentioned during a radio interview 3 days earlier. A caption she wrote about the courage to choose quiet echoed a phrase he had used on stage when accepting an award. Even the background of a quick story, just a chair half lit by morning, was recognized by followers who remembered seeing the same piece of furniture in a behind-the-scenes clip months before. None of this proved anything. All of it felt like something. They never confirmed. They never denied. Their media posture remained the same: keep the work at the center, keep the personal in its proper room. Then came a weekend that unsettled the balance. Very early on a Saturday, a routine civil bulletin listed a small set of ceremonies scheduled for that morning. Most lines meant little to anyone outside the families involved. One line did not. Within hours, a short, unpolished video began bouncing from phone to phone, two familiar figures, leaving a modest municipal building, stepping into a light drift of petals tossed by half a dozen people who laughed like they were trying not to cry. No grand entrance. No branded backdrop. No choreographed kiss. Just two signatures, two rings, a few sentences spoken too softly for microphones, and the kind of look that doesn't need a caption. By lunchtime, fan accounts had cut the clip into clean loops. By mid-afternoon, the phrase "express wedding" was everywhere. The assumptions multiplied: some tender, some skeptical, many simply curious. Was this a rush? Was it long planned? Was the quiet part of the romance, or part of the strategy? When the noise is loud, restraint reads like a riddle. Here is what people close to the day say, without spoiling what the couple hasn't offered themselves. The ceremony was arranged with intention, not haste. Cemre chose a simple dress that moved when she walked but did not call attention to itself. Gökberk wore a suit that fit like it had been waiting for this morning. The rings were understated, the kind of pieces that disappear until a gesture catches the light. A friend who knows them well described the mood as clear. Not euphoric. Not theatrical. Clear. There were tiny human details that made the moment feel less like a headline and more like life. A hairpin on Cemre's left side slipped during the signing, and Gökberk fixed it with the concentration of a person tying an important knot. The civil officer mispronounced a middle name and then apologized so sincerely that everyone laughed, which broke the formality in the best possible way. A parent squeezed a shoulder and whispered something nobody else heard. Someone's phone kept buzzing in a coat pocket and nobody checked it. Public reaction took its usual shapes. Congratulations poured in, first short, warm, almost protective. Then came the think pieces, the choice of a civil ceremony as a counter-statement to spectacle, the logistics of keeping a day like this off the grid in an era that treats privacy as a puzzle to be solved, the growing trend among visible couples to keep the first vow camera-free and save any larger celebration for later. A few voices, inevitably, asked whether minimalism was a cover for something else. But those who have spent time on sets with Cemre and Gökberk offered a simpler explanation: the way they work is the way they live. Focused. Deliberate. Short on extras. Long on intent. Late that evening, Cemre posted a single black and white photo. No faces, just two hands and the faint outline of a counter where a small bouquet rested. Her caption was a sentence of 5 words, all lowercase, that said everything by saying very little. Minutes later, Gökberk shared a quiet carousel, a closed door ajar, a page corner dog-eared, a rectangle of sky turning from silver to slate. No hashtags, just a date. Within an hour, the date itself had turned into the most searched phrase of the day. What does a day like this mean for the work in the short term? The answer is likely not much. Scripts were written weeks ago. Shooting days were designed like puzzles that can't be solved if one piece goes missing. Professionals do what professionals do: they show up, hit their marks, and carry the scene across the line. But it would be naive to pretend that private clarity does not sharpen public craft. When the off-screen noise quiets, the on-screen signal gets cleaner. Expect the next episodes to carry an ease that feels earned rather than performed. As for a larger celebration, friends say any gathering will be built around people rather than cameras, a dinner instead of a gala, toasts that trail into stories, a soundtrack that comes from a small speaker instead of a stage. If a bigger party ever happens, it will be for family, not for optics. The trip after the ceremony, call it a honeymoon or simply a pause, may go unnoticed, by design. A coastal town where phones are treated like notebooks. A city where they can walk anonymously. Or no trip at all, just a few days of domestic quiet before the next call sheet. Some viewers asked why, if this was so meaningful, they chose not to announce it in advance. The answer is hiding in plain sight. In a business that constantly pulls private moments toward public consumption, the only way to keep a moment intact is to hide it until it is over. You can love your audience and still reserve the first draft of your joy for the people in the room. There is also a broader lesson here about how we watch love stories, especially when the people telling those stories for a living are the same people we ask to live them. Audiences are generous. They want to believe in the best version of romance. But the healthiest admiration is the kind that stays on the right side of the door. Applaud the work. Wish them well. Don't turn the parts of their life that they have protected into riddles for the rest of us to solve. If you are wondering whether the civil registry note and the morning clip were a leak or a quiet permission, consider that no one has tried to erase them. Not everything shared is an invitation, but not everything unshared is a denial. Cemre and Gökberk have navigated their public years by keeping the volume low and letting time do the talking. Today's choice fits that pattern. There is a difference between secrecy and privacy. Secrecy hides to avoid consequence. Privacy holds space so the truth has room to breathe. This looked like privacy. Where do we go from here as viewers? Back to the work, which is where they have asked us to meet them from the beginning. Rtgarl Teep gave us scenes we will rewatch. The next projects will likely give us new textures, maturity, steadiness, a hint of lightness that often follows a difficult choice made well. The best love stories on screen are not the ones that copy a couple's life, they are the ones that channel the courage it took to make that life possible. Before we close, one final note to our community. At this channel, we try to tell stories without trespassing, to respect the line that allows artists to remain human. If you want to celebrate Cemre, Arda and Gökberk Yıldırım today, tell someone about a scene where their work moved you. Rewatch the episode that convinced you their pairing mattered. Leave a comment that wishes them ease and then resists the urge to ask for more. Sometimes the kindest thing a fan can do is choose quiet with the couple who just chose quiet for themselves. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If this thoughtful, measured approach is your style, please like the video, subscribe for more deep dives, and share this with someone who prefers nuance over noise. Tell me in the comments which moment first made you a believer in their on-screen magic, and what you hope to see from them next. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and goodbye.